Welcome to Assembly Festival. Please turn your mobile phones to silent. After the show, check out edfest.com to leave a review and for exclusive offers for the best shows on the Fringe from 7 of the major venues. Thank you and enjoy the show.
Grogroos and grogras, please welcome to stage Whoa!
Leave! The mic is on now, everyone's still applauding. The crowd is getting rowdier, people are walking in, they cannot imagine. How is this show this hot already? Entering to a standing ovation, this is so wild. People, it's building and people are slowly, it starts in the front row and they get up, oh my God! And it catches on, aisle by aisle by aisle. Unbelievable, please. You're too kind. Don't sit down yet. Don't sit down yet. Stay up, stay up, stay up, stay up. Too kind. Please, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. This is embarrassing. Embarrassing. 3 completely organic standing ovations. 3 consecutive shows. Hello. My name is Watto. Welcome to the George Lucas talk show. Who here has ever been to a live television taping before? Good, okay, great. That is all you need to know. It's very normal. Everything else falls into place after that point. Here's a recurring thing I have heard, mostly from people who have agreed to be guests on this show. They refer to it as the podcast. This is not a podcast. This has never been a podcast. This is the world's most professional television talk show. That's what this is. You can extrapolate from whatever that previous standard bearer was in your mind. Please sit down, by all means. Please sit down. Sit down. Here's all you missed. Standing ovation. They were so excited to see me. And just take my word for it. Here's a question. Who here has ever seen the George Lucas talk show before in any format? Good. Well, okay, that's more than the past couple of shows. And now, you can make noise if you want, that is optional. But I ask for a show of hands if you have no idea what you're seeing tonight, if you have no prior experience. Okay. I want you to know this is a very this is a very safe space. And there are no wrong answers. What do you think this is?
It's a talk show with George Lucas.
Perfect. Nailed it. Nailed it. You saved me time. It's a talk show with George Lucas. That's all you need to know. In just a moment, the most real George Lucas is about to come out and sit there and interview real people. I am a real CGI American. I'm a CGIP. Computer-generated imagery Jew is what I am. That's his choice, it's not mine. What else do you need to know? Basically, no. I don't know if you know about the great tragedy of George Lucas. A man who experienced the greatest indignity any human could ever experience. A literal kidnapping. Taken out of his baby bassinet, his most beloved child, a multimedia empire. Not since the Lindbergh baby was such a crime committed. And left behind a ransom note. They said, "Dear George, here are the $6 billion we agreed to. Sincerely, Walt Disney Studios. And so then he had to put his money where his mouth is. He had to find a new joy in life. He decided to self-finance his own talk show to showcase his sparkling personality. America's greatest raconteur. A man who can relate to any other human being on such an intimate level, with such natural, human, conversational speech. And then he booted me off the hard drive and then took the show. That's all you need to know. Here's the thing I will say in advance. I don't know why people came to see this tonight, but some of you might have come because Rose Matafeo was advertised as being a guest, the great starstruck. Your impulse was right to hold that applause. A wonderful artist, the greatest respect I have. This thing is a real endurance test, this festival. And she is under the weather, and she could not come to the show, so you should know that. And know that in her stead, we have a variable number of guests who may or may not be on the show. When someone cancels late, you throw out a lot of asks. And sometimes you're lucky that too many of them come back positive. And we will see what this is. But I think we're ready to start. I think you all feel warmed up, right? That was the purpose of this. Loosen you up. I think we can start the show. I think we can play the credits, please.
Please welcome retired filmmaker George Lucas.
Don't worry, he's still going. The only talk show host who outlaw knows Jay. He will hit every person in the audience. He's diabetic, so give him some extra time. He's getting up there in the years. But he's persistent, and he has the heart of a champion. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going.
Hello, I'm George Lucas, creator of Star Wars.
And I am Watto.
Hi, Watto. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you feeling, George?
Energized.
Week 3 of the Edinburgh Fringe, and they say it's a marathon, not a sprint. But yet you just did a sprint.
That's right, in the middle of a marathon.
Yes. It's like a turducken of running.
We've been doing a play every day.
We've been doing a very serious play.
We've been doing an existential tragicomedy called The Baron and the Junk Dealer.
Drama, we're going deep and we're bearing our soul on stage every night. This is when we come and play. Friday nights is when we get to drop the characters.
Yeah.
No silly voices, no funny costumes. We get
Yeah.
to just be ourselves.
Put on our real clothes.
Finally. You take a shower, you wash out anything weird that's on covering
Yeah,
your person.
any makeup I put on my hair for the play.
All of that is gone.
Yeah.
And then you get to just relax.
Yeah. Just and thank you all for coming here and being part of the fun.
Yes. Basically, it's like you've come to watch us schwitz at the bathhouse.
Yeah.
That's what this is. This is us letting off steam.
And I'm doing some one-person shows at the end of next week. I'm
Yes,
doing
next
George Prov.
Yes.
An improvised theatrical experience, 4 nights only. You could come to all 4 nights because they
Different.
will all be different.
Every
completely.
night.
This is true. Every show will be different. It will probably build. There'll be people who come on one night who don't get the full experience.
Yes.
And I'm already, I have to say, though, I'm a little distracted because I've
What?
been dealing with something in my real life.
Okay.
And I think it might be what I come back to the Fringe with next year. Can I bring up a small item that was recently in the news?
George, you think this might be the material on which you build next year's one-man show at
I
the
think
Fringe?
it's possible. I think it's possible.
People often, I don't know if you know this, some of these shows at the Fringe, people experience a great trauma or great tragedy in their life, and they turn it into a little bit of comedic storytelling.
Yeah,
Cathartic,
a little funny, but also a little
story.
real, and they talk about it.
Yes.
Let's see it. Can we see the news item?
This is the kind of material
Do we have the news item?
might be back with a year
Oh,
from
it's
now.
one of those
Here
Fringe-
it is.
Here it is. All right.
Straight from the Sacramento Bee, part
That's
of
right.
the McClatchy Media Network.
Next year, 2024, George Lucas, retired filmmaker George Lucas in I Don't Own My Driveway.
The problem
Now-
is, this story might be too relatable.
Yeah.
It might be one of those stories where people go, why do I need to see the show? I've already lived it.
He thought he had it all,
Yeah.
but there was one thing that he couldn't have.
Vroom, vroom.
His own driveway. Now here's what happened. And I'm just workshopping now.
Workshop.
This is WIP.
This is a do a jazz set. George, do a
Yeah.
jazz set.
What? Yeah. So here's the thing. My neighbors, there was a zoning glitch. There was a glitch in the zoning in San Anselmo where I live, and my neighbors died. They're gone. They're dead. And now it
This
turns
is the
out
sad part of the show before it gets
my
fun.
neighbors died, and now their heirs found out that they own my driveway. So I'm suing them so that they'll admit that it's my driveway. I'm preemptively suing them. This is a legal tactic that before they sue me, I'm going to sue them.
And ladies, don't we hate when that happens?
So that's a little taste of what I'm still working through the feelings, and obviously we're
course.
working through the court case.
Yes.
And the court case is going to provide all kinds of drama. I can do the different characters.
American Crime Story.
Order.
George Lucas v. Driveway.
Order. That's right.
You might play the judge yourself. With that little audition to play the judge,
If we make it into a TV series,
it felt like that's what you were doing.
Order. Order in this court. I will not have chaos in my courtroom. Mr. Lucas, sit down. Yeah.
Who plays George? If you were to pick an actor to play George on American Crime Story, Lucas v. Driveway.
Who's the bad guy in the new Mission Impossible?
Henry Journey?
Yeah, maybe him?
Or Asai Morales?
Yeah.
Or The Entity?
I don't know. Speaking of entities, I see one of them lingering in the wings.
Oh, boy.
Come on in, Cider Boy.
This is Patrick Cotner, our producer, but of course, we all know him better as Cider Boy. I'm sorry, we tried our best.
Wow. I walk
I'm
on
really
stage and they
sorry.
immediately leave.
No, it's fine, we tried.
Someone booed the first week and they're walking out this week. This is great.
Patrick, the show, I don't want to put too fine a point on it, but there were 0 walkouts when Watto was doing work.
Yeah.
George comes out, people were walking in.
That's right. I got walk-ins,
He
Patrick.
got walking.
Tonight's a complicated show. There have been a lot of complications in tonight's show.
I suspect those might have been the heirs to my dead neighbors.
They might,
Sure.
They may have walked out because they could feel the heat coming their
they
way.
might
Yeah.
have been.
Yeah.
Patrick, do you want to talk about? No, we don't. We shouldn't.
Yeah.
No, we should talk about it a little bit.
Okay, talk about it then.
Sometimes people get sick.
Is this your one-man show for next year?
I got to admit, I don't think there's enough meat on the bone.
Sometimes people get sick. That can go so many different ways.
Yeah, but which way is this one going?
This one's this one's going that some of the lineup is the same that you guys sign up for. Some of the lineup's new, and that's exciting and cool, and it's going to be a fun show.
Patrick is the person who is the same here.
Yes.
Yes?
Everyone is here.
Everyone is here.
Well, not everyone is here.
Well, except for the person who is
But
sick.
as far as you know,
Yes.
as far as you know, Otto,
Yes.
everyone is here.
Yes.
Everyone you expect to be here is here.
Yes.
But as far as they're concerned,
There
they
are
don't know
three. There are
what's
three
happening.
people here.
Okay.
A trilogy of people, Otto.
Could I introduce all 3 people now?
Yeah.
Okay. And,
Patrick, do you want to get the extra chair that
I'm
we
gonna
need?
go get an extra chair.
and Patrick, I just want you to know, if I announce people who are not here, this is your
Do you want
fault.
me to introduce people?
No, I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
But if I'm wrong, Cider Boy has to go get another round of ciders. Okay, ready? Grogus and Gragas, please welcome to the stage Sophie Zucker, Matt Goldich, and Avital, correct? 3 out of 3. 3 out of 3.
Here they are. Sophie Zucker, Matt Goldich, Avital Ash. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, look at that. Wow, wow, wow.
Oh, wow.
We got so many waters.
So many waters, but only one Watto.
Oh,
George!
George.
The Fringe is unpredictable. And we have to roll with it. Is everyone having a good Fringe?
Yeah.
Yeah? Lots of buzz?
Some.
Buzz?
So much buzz.
Buzz?
So much
You
buzz.
tell me.
I don't know. I'm asking.
No, that's a no then.
That's no buzz?
If you don't know about it.
If I don't, well, I'm not the most tuned in person you're going to meet.
He's 80.
I'm not 80 yet, you
He's
son of a bitch.
79.
You son of a bitch.
He's 79.
Don't go telling people that I'm 80. It ruins my birthday next year. Patrick's mad because next year Watto turns 25 and I turn 80. And what do you turn?
32?
Boring. It's not an age you celebrate. I don't want to hear a word about your birthday next year, Patrick. Not a word.
When's your birthday? When do you turn 80?
I don't want to talk about me.
Great.
I'm opening up a museum in a couple of years, and I brought a couple things from the museum, and they're kind of we're going to help start this talk show off. I'm opening a museum in Los Angeles called the Lucas Museum of Narrative Art. It opens probably in 2 years. I don't know. It takes a long time to make a museum. But I have this little notebook that we made, and it says, "What's your story?" Wow. And that's going to be my lead-off question to you. What's your story?
Now choose to interpret that question however
you like. But I think because I think we're all here at the Fringe telling versions of our stories, yes? Yes? We have that in common. That's certainly what Watto and I are doing. I don't know what Patrick's doing.
No idea.
I don't either. Don't look at me. I have no idea.
How are the shows going?
They are going well. We have been selling out and getting nice reviews.
Sophie Sucks Face.
That's right.
Sophie Sucks Face.
That's what it's called. Sophie Sucks Face.
Give me, how would you describe this very briefly to a passing stranger?
Well, when I have flyered, probably to some of you, I say, first I say, have you ever had a cousin that you found kind of attractive?
Raise hands.
And then,
Yeah.
And I make
There's
a
a
comment.
handful.
And some of the responses I get, someone's like, "Oh yeah, I shagged my cousin," and I'm like, "Well, that's not what I asked." But and then I say, "Well, my show is about a girl who falls in love with her cousin for various reasons."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they kiss, like, seriously.
They kiss pretty seriously.
I'll admit, I'm not talking about, there's a strike going on, so I won't mention specific films or TV shows I made. But I have trafficked in these waters narratively myself.
I forgot about that. That's
Yeah,
true.
like a hot kiss between a brother and a sister. And they don't know it, but they're also like super sensitive to the world around them. Like there's this magical energy that binds them.
And also in the next movie, one of them says, "Somehow I've always known." So he sort of did know.
Yeah. So like it's a fun trope to play with.
It is.
And people really like it. I know that it's like one of the big taboos in our society, and you shouldn't do it. I'm not encouraging it, but as a storyteller, it sure is fun to play with.
Yeah.
Right?
George Lucas, he's $1 billion taboo.
Ooh. Yeah. Do you imagine that franchising your show in the way that I have done, or like you had merch at the end of your show, you had buttons that you handed out.
Yeah,
and I thought,
pins.
well done. I don't see enough merch here, and that's where the money is.
Yeah, I have some ideas for it, maybe a movie, but I sort of think the story is one and done. I don't think like a trilogy is in the works or anything.
Well, I think you should at least make action figures of you and the tall cousin, because that's the one thing is he's so tall,
really tall.
that you stand on. What do you say?
I stand on a little.
I saw your show.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in the third row, so
Yeah.
I couldn't see the bottom half of some of the show.
That's okay.
No, it didn't affect. You should still try to see it if you can get a ticket. But I didn't know what you were standing on. I just thought, oh, she's using a practical effect to be taller as a character.
It's like a little step stool.
Little step stool?
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like you're going to fall off?
All the time.
Actually, I did see you stumbled a
I
little.
did.
You stumbled a little. But whenever you, like, when I make a mistake in something, I will correct it, like, decades later. But you did it like right in the moment. You made like a fun remark about it.
Yeah. Well, I think I just went whoa or something.
It's pretty good. I mean, that's all a special effect is. It's just a version of saying whoa.
Right.
Like that's all it is.
Right.
It's the same function.
Yeah.
You make mistakes in your show?
All the time.
What's the
whole
title
show.
of your show? Let's get these clear plugs. We're here to promote. We're here to make sure that you get the same kind of slots as Sophie's getting.
It's called Matt Has Sex with His Stepmom. No, it's not.
I can see you thinking that would have been a hit.
Yeah, no. Most people only watch the first 90 seconds, sadly. No, it's, my show is actually, there's a lot of failure in my show. It's called What If This Is the Best I Can Do? And
I didn't mention anything about failure.
Well, there's a lot of mistakes, I'm saying.
I was
I've
mentioning sexy incest.
Right, okay, yeah.
But then you said the word failure and you casually gestured to me.
Yeah.
A billionaire.
Yeah.
Do you want to rethink your hand gesture and take that back? Should we go?
I retract my gesture.
Okay, no. Say there's a lot of failure in the show, and just like gesture to everyone who experiences
You
failure.
have to pick one person in the audience and gesture to them instead.
All right, there's a lot of failure in the show.
Wow, you pick up real quick.
Yes. Yeah.
Nailed it.
No, it's just an hour of stand-up loosely based around the topic of failure. It's called What If This Is the Best I Can Do? And it's about all the different ways in which I'm a failure, both in my personal life and in my career.
What if this is the best I can do?
Yes.
Okay. So the title of your show is a declarative fact.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sophie sucks face.
Correct.
Yours is a question.
It is. It's an open-ended.
What is the answer? Do we find it if we see the show? Or are you searching for it?
I don't mean to talk it up too much, but I think it's the best I can do. I really do. I think this is the best work. I think 20 plus years in, I think I'm doing the best work of my career. And
that's a great pull quote.
George,
Yes.
George, we did just have someone walk out, and he's gone, so I can say this. He did stop at the end of the stage, take a photo, and then keep walking, which I like.
Maybe we'll get a bad review.
Great.
Yeah.
We got the money. It's fine. You know, you bought the ticket.
He did the same thing at my stepmom show. Just, yeah.
What's a failure that you reckon with?
Well, just the fact that I've been doing stand-up comedy for over 20 years and nobody's heard of me. So that's one thing that comes up a few times.
Is that why you do it?
Is that why I do stand-up comedy? To remain anonymous? Yes. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it's just it felt like a pretty interesting area because you just don't usually hear people talk about it because it doesn't really sell tickets.
Right.
To talk about how medium you are at it.
And yet it is so relatable.
It is very relatable.
And you are selling tickets.
Well, a few, yeah, not as many as Sophie, but that's fine.
Let's also acknowledge Patricia Arquette did get like 5 or 6 seasons out of it. Making a show about how medium she was. I don't want to make you feel any lesser.
We're gonna have to
Don't
bleep.
boo that, it's a fact. There's not a joke, that's a fact.
Please, I would ask for the remainder of the show, do not boo facts.
Do not boo facts. There's a war on truth, and we all need to be on the same side.
We live in a time where it's so hard for us to agree on what basic reality is, that to boo a fact is a slippery slope.
We beg you to boo the jokes. When the jokes come, you'll know it, and please boo. With no facts.
Patrick, are you gonna have to boo the mention? Are you gonna have to bleep the mention of medium?
Ooh, that's a great question.
It's a strike joke.
Is it available on a streaming platform?
Can you criticize it?
Can I criticize it? Yeah, it didn't go on long enough. I wanted season 7.
Great, I don't have to bleep it anymore.
Patrick backstage made a classic Patrick tactical error. He was talking to Matt, and we were talking about the guidelines of how we've been approaching this show during a strike era, trying not to reference struck work by name, especially our own projects, which of course had nothing to do with Medium.
No.
Besides being a loyal supporter. And Patrick said, I'll tell you what I don't want to do again, is what I agreed to do last time, where I bleeped out every time a struck work was mentioned. And I said, Patrick, it's now happening.
Yeah. That's fine. It was funny.
What was funny?
The bleeps are funny.
These are on YouTube?
Yeah.
You like them?
Yeah.
You watch for the bleeps?
Do I watch for the bleeps?
You said it's funny.
I don't know if that was the reason I watched, but I did watch it because of the bleeps to make sure I got the bleeps. Yeah, hold on, what's up?
Just go on.
Okay. Keep going, George.
No, I want to hear what you have to say.
Avital, I saw your show last night. You did? I did, and it was great. I really enjoyed it. Can we tell George what the name of it is?
I haven't. I've seen your show, Sophie. It's so busy here that I want to see your show. I haven't seen it yet. I want to see your show. I haven't seen it yet.
I do want to say.
Tight,
sorry. Oh, I'm sorry.
I came straight from mine, so it's a little tricky. But you could do it because I did. I'm here.
What time is your show?
10:05 or 22:05, as the natives say.
On a normal night, I could make it to your show, so I will. So, what's your show called?
It's called Avital Ash Workshops for Suicide Note. Light and breezy show. And my story is that my biological mom committed suicide when I was an infant, which sounds sad, but I was a bad baby.
Yeah.
My first words were kill yourself. But and I do, just to tie in, because I think it's important to say, I do mention in the show that I have 3 younger brothers and I tend to be attracted to guys that remind me of my brothers, which I know sounds creepy, but
no, it sounds sexy.
It sounds profitable, honestly.
Sounds like $1 billion franchise.
I didn't write about siblings, okay?
No, I wrote about siblings.
Yeah, I wrote about a girl and a second cousin.
Yeah. Yes.
But George and I took it further.
Sophie, you don't have to apologize for your cowardice. Never apologize for not being bold enough to show a brother and sister in a family film just going at it, even though they both know it deep down.
Sophie, what you're describing has a tremendous amount of integrity and power in sort of an indie sphere, but we're talking about a blockbuster level now.
Yes.
And then you have to go siblings.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Avital, you weren't out here before because I want to talk to you about, obviously you're not afraid to go to painful places in your show and to mine them for humor, but sometimes I would imagine that's very hard. And I'm working on a show based on something very painful that I'm going through right now. Can we bring the news article up? I recently found out that I don't own my own driveway, and my neighbors died, and their heirs own my driveway.
Sorry.
And now I'm having to sue them for it. And it's like I was telling this to my buddy Steve, and I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna make this funny. I don't know how I'm gonna make this funny because it's so painful. I need my driveway to get in and out of my house. So how do you go to a dark place and then find the humor?
Well, I think for me it's a bit easier because it was just a suicide. But for you, I don't really know how you...
Right, it's one and done. Whereas I have to leave my house every day.
It's an ongoing pain.
Yes.
That's like his buddy Steve made Schindler's List, and he heard the story. He was like, I wouldn't touch that.
Yeah.
I have no idea how to tell that tale. Give me Amistad 10 more times before I tackle your driveway.
Well, because here's the thing. Here's why it's painful. Is because, like, you can do a giant tragedy because it's massive and it's history and things like that. But when a billionaire complains that he doesn't own his drive, see, you're laughing.
People don't understand.
Is this how am I supposed to leave my house? How am I supposed to get back in my house? How do I have friends over?
Do you feel like a laughing stock? Do you feel like everyone's laughing at you?
I feel like there's the wrong kind of laughter. That's not what I want. I want people to laugh because I'm going to this place that really is a true thing I'm going through.
Catharsis.
And I can sense that some people are just laughing because it's late-stage capitalism and people love to mock the rich now. Even though I'm one of the good ones.
Best one. George, best one.
Best one.
Don't sell yourself short.
Anyway.
How much money do you have?
Billions. Billions.
And how many driveways do you own?
I mean, I own other driveways, but
Okay.
this is my home. Like, I have other driveways,
To
but they don't
nowhere.
lead to my house.
Hey, where do they lead to?
How
Yeah.
did you discover that you did not own this one?
My neighbors died, and then their heirs, I guess, looked into it, and they're like, we own your driveway. And I'm like, I'm taking you to court. Because it's a mistake. It's just like a weird little zoning blip.
Yeah. Could you not buy it off them?
I'm
With
trying.
your billions of dollars?
Yeah, I don't want to spend billions for a driveway I already
Fair.
own. Like, you know what I mean? It's mine. I've made refurbishments. This is the thing people don't understand, and we'll get into this next year in the show. I've made refurbishments to the driveway.
Special editions.
Special editions, yes.
Over decades. Over decades.
The
Over
biggest
decades.
pop I'll get
Yes.
all of Fringe.
Are there, when you're writing a show like that, that's personal and painful, are there jokes that you write, or are there areas that you write that you think, I can't do this. This part's just for me. I don't feel comfortable saying this in front of it. What's your process for deciding what works in a show like that?
Now I feel locked in. So sometimes I go, well, you're not going to like this. And then I feel weird about it, and I say it anyway.
Yeah.
But because now it's too late, I think.
Right.
Does that answer? Was that your question?
I don't even know anymore.
Okay, great.
But does it feel good?
Some of it feels really good. Some of it doesn't.
Some of it always feels bad?
No, not always. It depends.
Sometimes.
Yeah. There's a joke that's really dark that I mean, the show is very dark, but there's like one that nobody ever laughs at, and I'm like, I'm gonna keep doing it for me. And then they just have started to laugh in the last few days. Don't know why.
Oh, here's a question.
Yeah.
Because George, we've now done The Baron and the Junk Dealer, our very serious dramatic play. 15 times?
15 or 16?
Yeah,
16?
something like that.
Yeah.
We've done it 16 times, and I don't know if the three of you feel this way. I know, Matt, you started your run more recently.
Yes.
But I very much have that feeling every morning when I wake up and I go, oh, God.
That's
do it
another
again
bleep, by the way.
Today. Yes.
Yeah. The movie.
Yeah.
Starring Bill Murray from
Not the place Palm Springs, the Hulu original with Andy Samberg.
Uh-huh.
Trying to and it's numeral 2 and then the letter U.
Uh-huh.
I've been feeling like all of those movies. My question is this is an honest question of empathy. Do the three of you have moments in your shows where you're like, this is the part I hate doing? When you're on the cusp of it, where you're like, This one is just always, it takes more energy, it's harder to sell. I worry about the audience response. Are there moments you dread in particular? Or does it change night to night?
And can you do them right now?
I didn't ask that!
Do your least favorite part. I'll think like I have a bit that I hate doing, and then all of a sudden it'll kill, and then maybe there's curiosity around like how will it do tonight, so it changes.
Sometimes I'll get to like the 35-minute mark, and I'm like, I wish I was at 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, let's get to the end. I don't know, and that's not a good feeling because it's like I'm really doing an amazing job of promoting it, aren't I?
Yeah.
Speaking on
I'm like the middle 15 minutes is weak. It's showing at 7:20 at the Gilded Balloon TV in the Wee Room.
Matt, who directs your show?
It directs itself.
Oh. Has anyone ever given you notes on it? Because I have a pretty strong track record as a director. Can I give you a note?
I would be happy. Yes, give me a note. Yes.
All right, from 35 to 50, you want it to go quicker?
Yeah.
Okay, you need to do it faster and more intense.
Okay.
This is a secret sauce. It will.
Got it.
It will get you through it. Like,
okay.
Whatever you could do, talk faster. Do you know how to talk fast?
I probably could figure it out. Yeah.
It might kill some of the timing on the jokes, but some of the people will like it more.
Got it. Okay. All right.
If you can talk really fast, you can, because some people listen to podcasts or audiobooks that way.
At like 1 1/4, yeah.
Yeah, do it at 1 1/4. I would say let's do it 2. Maybe 2 1/4. 2 1/4. If you can do 2 1/4, because at a certain point, you're going to find new rhythms comedically. You're going to start to realize, I could have been doing this kind of comedy all along. You know? Yeah. When things are sped up, it's funny.
Okay.
Matt, I'll give you another option too as well. If you feel like the struggle is at 35 to 50, as you said, I think, maybe start this show at minute 35.
Right.
Just run it to the end, and then like 30 years later, do the first 30 minutes.
You understand this?
Yes, I understand. Yeah.
It is a tried and true method.
It always works.
Proven to work.
$1 billion formula.
It's a $1 billion idea.
Sophie, your show is a lot of musical numbers and characters and voices. Is there one that's harder to do where you feel like, oh, this is going to take a lot of energy to do this?
Not necessarily the energy, but the song I play on the ukulele is for some reason always the hardest on my voice. And I always, for the first 2 weeks, I was like croaking through it, and then I figured it out. But the energy, I'm like, I don't know. I get wrapped up in my own story. I'm like, ooh, I'm telling a good story. I want to see where this goes next or whatever. So I kind of just follow it. Yeah. I have an amazing show.
You're so much better at selling than we are.
That's half of it, baby. Yeah.
I like the songs in your show. Was it a technical trick to fix the ukulele song so you felt good doing it? Was it a technical trick or was it?
Yes, I brought it down a step.
Brought it down.
Yeah. And I zoomed with my vocal coach crying and said, help me fix this.
Right. See, it's not, you can ask people to help with your show.
No, and honestly, the more notes you can give before seeing it, the better. I would.
Yeah. I'm worried if I see it, it'll taint it.
I'd
rather give the notes.
Happen.
Rather give the notes just up front.
Thank you. Yeah.
General notes that work under all conditions.
Yes.
And I'm worried I'll see it and be like, oh no, that's the wrong note. Whereas if I give it now, then I can just put it out of my mind, and then you're left to deal with whatever becomes of it.
George has always had disdain for the test screening process in films where you screen the movie to strangers and survey their opinions. And so he pivoted a couple years ago to the non-screening process, where he just asked people, what do you think about what might happen? And then you go from there.
You play a lot of characters in your show.
I do.
Do you just play one character? Are you or do you do voices?
I play less than one. I'm barely myself. Yeah.
You are good at this. You have a very self-loathing bit that you do that I like. It makes me like you because I'm trying to compensate for how little you like yourself.
That's the idea. I reel you in.
Yeah, you are like a tractor beam. You are for kind feelings.
I'll take it.
Do you act out multiple characters in your show?
No, I do like a trailer voice at one, whatever.
A trailer voice?
Yeah.
Like a coming attractions voice, or like someone who lives in a trailer?
There is a bit about a trailer. There's a joke about which now I've talk myself into this corner. But where I say that there was a commercial for where it was airing, and it said will do for mirrors what did for showers. And I hadn't seen either movie, but was immediately terrified of mirrors and showers.
Yeah.
And Hitler had something to do with the showers, of course.
Yeah. Have you seen?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
It's good.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Weirdly,
Don't worry.
Weirdly, you've stepped into a movie that George likes a lot. I feel like I've talked to you about multiple times.
Oh, well, one thing I like about is that no, it's not like where once you start, then you have to really commit that you want to show up. Now I'm done talking about him.
Wait, I gotta bleep all this.
What?
Yeah.
I gotta bleep all this. All right.
Well, speaking of, I brought treats I brought Swizzle's drumstick squashies. And I brought strings and things yollies. I brought some squashies and some yollies. Is this normal? Is it normal? You guys like these? Have you had these?
I actually haven't.
Have you heard of these, or are these
I
new
have.
to you?
No, my friends here like those squashies.
Yeah,
they eat them during my show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Drumstick. And you mentioned a drummer, or more than one drummer in your show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this have to do with it?
Oh,
it's a drumstick. Oh,
Yeah.
it doesn't look like that at all.
They look like elementary school erasers, primary school erasers.
That's a
like a
drumstick?
What?
Yeah. It looks to me
Like for a hi-hat?
It looks to me like they've removed the tooth and taken part of the gum with it.
No.
Yeah. Matt, do you fancy a squashy?
Oh.
No.
If you prefer, I also have these yollies.
The word yogurt on like a dried item is just really.
Oh no, it's not a
unappealing to
dried
me.
item. It's yogurt.
Oh, okay.
I think Avital and I would prefer the yummies.
Oh my god.
They kind of taste like marshmallows,
Sure. Do you want one?
but not as
You
good.
can touch
They're
this. if you
so
want.
bad.
All right.
Feels like gum.
I have good news, bad news. I only have 3 yollies.
We
Oh,
did say we
no.
wanted them.
You want
all right.
yollies?
Yeah.
Yeah, pass the yollies
Okay.
down, please. They're
Sophie,
fun
you didn't
to
want a
look at,
yolly?
but
I'm
oh my
alright.
God.
Here's the squish.
Who here has had a yolly or a squashy? You like them?
Thank you.
What do you think of yollies?
Well, you're gonna tonight. Here we go. Come. Do you want to come up and have a yolly with us? Great. Thank you. Come on up.
George, I have a very important question.
Yeah, you can go that way.
George,
Yes.
do we know for the fact
Okay.
whether or not the Candy Guild is currently on strike? Might we need to bleep out the proper names of these candies in the edit?
It's possible, and I'd say we want to err on the side of safety.
Yes.
Avital, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. What's your name?
Delaney.
Delaney.
All right, so we're all going to try a yolly at the same time, yes?
Yeah.
Are you going like full into your mouth right away, or are you doing little bites?
I'm going to do little bites.
Okay, little bites.
But don't let that change the way you were planning on
Okay.
approaching it. All right,
Here we
ready?
go.
All right, yolly break.
1,
Cheers.
2, 3.
Oh, God.
What the fuck?
I think
It
it's
is,
good.
it is truly the weirdest thing
Oh,
I've
I
ever
hate it.
The
I
way
like it.
I didn't expect it
Yeah,
to
I know,
wiggle
one
like
shot.
that. No, after you
It's
guys
like-
bit into it.
Okay, what's the thought? Great.
I can't describe the texture. I genuinely, I've invented fictional worlds where I've had to explain entire planets. I do not know how to describe the texture of a yolly.
It's so soft.
It's so soft, but what you're imagining, you're thinking, I know what soft means. You don't. It's a new kind of soft,
It's like a yogurt jello combo,
but it's not.
but it's not.
It's not.
It's like if you were to put the yogurt water in like a fridge, and then like a little Jello mix in there. And
Well,
it's
you're describing the flavor. I think that is an accurate description of the flavor.
describing the texture. It's Jello water, but like calcified. What is happening?
But it's wiggly.
Eat this stuff?
It's wiggly, but look at the integrity. It is not. That is going nowhere.
I don't think, George, I don't think that's a selling point.
Yes.
The structural integrity of the yolly.
I don't know. Thank you, Delaney.
Thank you, lady.
Oh boy. And apologies to Lainey.
I liked it.
I didn't.
I liked it too. So,
watching it come
Delaney,
off
you
of-
didn't like it, right? You didn't care for it, but you're stuck with what's left of it now, right? All right.
You have someone wants it.
Yeah.
He wants a bite.
No, right here, right next to you. Jonathan.
Jonathan wants it. Jonathan?
Jonathan, tiebreaker. Has Jonathan had this before? No.
Jonathan, what do you think?
Jonathan looks into it. Taking his time.
Oh, he's having
He's
another-
going back.
He's going back for more.
He doesn't hate it, or he wouldn't
Really
go back.
taking his, really milking this one.
Yeah.
Nice.
Jonathan,
you.
what do you think?
I feel like it just tastes like yogurt on a stick.
Thank you, Jonathan.
And he
Jonathan
looks
with a very
good.
discreet burn.
I think it just tastes like yogurt on a stick.
Very sly. I like that attitude that you brought to it. Sophie, are you glad you didn't partake in that?
Very.
Yeah. Is it demanding switching from the character voices?
No.
Because you'll have characters talk to each other, but it's just you.
Yeah, no, I fall into them very easily. One is like a sort of Jewish mother that lives in me and probably will be me in a handful of years. And then the Israeli accent might be offensive, but no one's called me out on it, so I think I'm okay.
I think it's fine.
Thanks. I sort of like made up. Well, I don't want to get into it.
What?
Actually. I sort of like created this character in my show who I believe does exist in real life.
This is very relatable.
This is how I was born, by the way, but go on. Yeah.
Well, because so there's this character, and his name is Yoni, and he's Israeli, and he served in the IDF, and I created him. And then I had a friend who was like, you're not gonna believe this. I matched with someone on OkCupid whose name is Yoni, and he's Israeli, and he served in the IDF. And I was like, oh my god. I mean, that's, I guess, do you think your
worry.
people are real?
I have that nightmare.
Okay.
Yeah. That
It was
characters that I created will come to life. Is that what you think happened?
No, I think I just unwillingly sort of tapped into something that is very real.
You wrote from a place of basic dramatic truth.
Yes.
And then your invention was then validated and verified by reality.
Exactly.
It's a great feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
I mean, Watto's here.
Yeah.
I said this is how I was born. You weren't listening.
Well, no one reacted. I wanted to get a bigger
Because it
reaction.
was a moment of thought. It was a moment of introspection. Where do we all come from, if not from the mind of George Lucas? That's where everyone went deep into that feeling.
Now, Sophie, are you the only one on this stage who's seen The Baron and the Junk Dealer?
I don't know. I have seen it.
Wow.
Matt, did you see it?
We, as they say here, we clash. Sometimes clash. There's. I think if I saw it, I think I would be.
What time
missing
is
the
your
beginning.
show, Matt?
Mine's at 7:20.
I mean, our show's done by 7.
Okay.
Sometimes we run a few minutes long, Matt.
Yeah, that's what I'm. I think that's what I'm afraid
How
of.
far away is your venue?
I'm at
Gilded Balloon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you like to run? Like recreationally? Do you ever go for a jog in your life?
I have, yes.
You have? Did you
not,
like it?
Not onto stage.
Were
no,
you on the
not-
track? Were you on the track team?
I mean,
Track and field?
Have you seen?
You're slender build. You could be on the track
No,
team.
I was not on the. Don't invite like 4 Jews and then ask them about their athletic prowess. That's not really a fair.
Don't invite 4 Jews. That is hate speech. How dare you?
Yeah, it's self-hate speech. That's fine.
By the way, I wasn't invited. I got a permanent seat.
Okay, I understand. Okay.
But I respect that. I
Okay,
stand
that's
in
fair. That's
solidarity.
fair.
So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
probably
Do you run? Were you on the track team?
No, are you fucking kidding me? Look at me.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. It's a rude question to ask 4 Jews and whatever Patrick is.
Yeah. Why do I think you'd, honestly, I think if you tried, you'd be disqualified because of your wings. People would say that's cheating.
That's the problem. I don't really fly, but the wings give a little pop to the walk.
Yeah. It's basically the equivalent of juicing.
Yes.
Yeah. So you probably will never see the Baron
I'll
of the
come.
Junk.
I will come and I will run to my show. No,
I
I won't.
want, let me know.
Yeah, I'll come.
I think come, leave early, and I think say something dramatic like, no one should see this play, or something like that. Just to get people, because then the other people will be like, what was he so mad about?
Yeah. I'll take a picture on the way out, though.
That's great.
Okay, good.
And your show is at 10?
10:05, yeah.
Okay, so I haven't seen your show yet, but I'm going to.
Cool.
But you don't have to see The Baron and the Drunk Dealer if you don't want to. That's not why I say this.
Is there buzz around it?
I don't know.
It looks like yes.
Yeah, Jonathan gasped.
Okay, I'll come see.
So, Sophie, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
You saw The Baron and the Drunk Dealer.
Today. Yeah.
How did it feel similar to your show?
Did it feel like we were stepping on your territory? That's what she's asking.
Did it feel like kind of A-side, B-side, sort of like these shows fit together?
Yeah.
I would say no, not at all. You guys are in your own lane for sure.
Well.
A driving metaphor.
Yes. It'd be so nice if that lane led to a driveway. A place to park your thoughts.
Well, now, but I would say your play fundamentally deals with a kind of regret.
Yes.
Our play traffics very heavily in the theme of regret.
That's true. And that's probably where it stops.
No, there's sexual tension in ours.
So briefly.
But oh so sweetly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we don't. You linger in those waters a lot longer than we do. We sort of get in and get out.
Yeah.
We don't.
And sort of never touch it again.
We don't have any musical numbers.
No.
We don't.
And you don't have any skeletons.
I mean, my show isn't sci-fi.
There are multiple funerals.
That's true.
So there's another. There's another key.
There's death.
There is death.
There's death.
There's the chaos of being alive. Right?
Baby, there's always the chaos of being alive.
Oh, baby, there's always the chaos of being alive.
Baby.
Right? That's probably what your shows are about too, in a way. Well, yours, sorry, but you know, in spite of it all, right? I liked your show a lot, but it was definitely different from mine, and I don't think I could write it.
I think you could.
Oh.
I think you could write our show. First, you take those songs out. And if I was writing your show, first I'd take our show, I'd add songs into it. Then I'm like, now it's closer.
Yes. You'd make Watto taller.
I'd make Watto taller.
Yes.
And I would have you kiss your second cousin.
Right. Yes.
And then it would be very similar.
Then it would be in my territory.
It's exciting being in the Fringe, isn't it?
It's very exciting.
You feel that energy?
Yeah.
Have you guys had any weird audience members, or like has anything weird happened during any of your shows?
Tonight is coming to mind. I do a costume change.
Oh yeah?
Which I have on underneath here.
I mean,
should I do it?
I think you should.
It's so inappropriate.
You should.
Okay. I don't really know if I shaved my pussy that recently. All right, well, we'll try it. Hold on. So it's like...
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
And tonight... Hey.
I did this in... Believe it.
And tonight, I asked the question in audience. I mean, I'm so flustered. I'm naked. I asked the audience a question where I go, "Do I look good or no?" Like in a funny way. And mostly people are just like, "Woo!" But some old guy in the back was like, "Better every minute."
Oh no.
And then I had to sort of work with that.
Oh. It's so funny you mention it, because we've been having this problem with the show. Where your show, you kind of step out of it, you talk to the crowd, you go back into the reality. There are moments where you're inviting them to engage, and then sometimes people overstep when you're in the sort of narrative of the show. Our show basically stays within the narrative the entire time. And we've had a problem where once a minute someone will yell out, "Watto looks too good."
Yeah.
And it's adding like 30, 40 minutes to the show.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. I didn't really experience that one today, but...
I might not have heard it. He said a very specific pitch. He's like a dog whistle, but I hear it constantly on every line.
It's, it's hard when you think about, like, because we're both wearing a lot of layers in our show.
Yeah, unlike tonight. Tonight you and I are dressed similarly.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I have a similar thing because I have the part where I'm wearing, like, sort of a cape and a hat.
That's right.
And then I take it off. Very similar to the way you change your costume.
Yes. And then he's only wearing 12 layers. At
Yes.
that point.
Matt, do you change your clothing during the show at all?
I don't change my clothing outside of the show. No, there's no costume changes. No, it's very straightforward. You know?
I like the way when I say a thing to you, you find a way to twist it.
I do.
And it's a fun way to twist it. And then I'll say that to you and be like, I twist a way to find it.
Yeah, no. That was a good impression of me. Yeah. You know what? You're my understudy now.
No.
Yes.
I'm your understudy.
No, that doesn't work, yeah. You know what I did notice? I noticed that your show starts with a death, and then also the story of your driveway starts with a death. So that's
right.
a similarity right there.
Well,
Same show.
And Sophie's show starts with a death
It
as
does.
well.
Yes.
That's right. Although really, the story of my driveway, I would later film prequels of it where you saw that just for decades it was my driveway.
Right.
Everyone was alive in the driveway with
Yeah,
you.
the neighbors were alive. I used the driveway. I improved the driveway. I made it a better driveway.
Yes.
But you're right. Where the action really starts is the death of the neighbors and the discovery
Yes.
that I, the man who seemingly has it all, has one thing that is not his.
The first 3 chapters, everyone's alive, the driveway is his. But lurking in the shadows is his zoning officer. I swear that driveway will be taken! And it takes like 4 movies for that to actually pop.
Are there times in your show where an audience member does something that you consider to be, it's fine, inappropriate? Do they ever laugh at a moment where you think that's not what you're supposed to laugh
Yeah,
at?
oh, for sure. That
People, I
happens
would
to me.
imagine people often are nervous and they're not quite sure what's okay.
Yeah, there is that. There was one woman at the end of the show came up to me and said, I'm a mom and I'm depressed. I think about killing myself, but I have 2 kids. But now I know that they would be fine.
Oh no!
You know,
Oh no!
they say if you can reach just one person.
Oh no!
Also, I was like, what gave you the impression that this is fine? None of this is fine.
Avital, that might truly be the most incredible feedback I have ever heard. I'm not trying to be hyper, but I cannot think of a more astounding thing to say to a person after seeing their show.
Oh, that's so.
Holy shit.
Is she here?
No, she
Great.
killed herself.
Yeah.
No, Patrick, she's gone.
She's obviously finished.
Sophie, have you had things like that where people are like, I'm gonna fuck my cousin? I saw your show, and now I know it's okay.
Thanks for the hot tip.
No, I have not. But there is still 2 more weeks.
Yeah, and it's probably happened. They just didn't tell you.
Yeah. Well,
But
again, there are people who are like, wait, I have a crush on my cousin.
Yeah.
There is also something in your show, and we talked about this before, where you don't explicitly say that this is not a true story.
I do. Well, I say it's true, kind of.
From a certain point of view.
Okay, all right. Do people come up to you fully saying, that's crazy that that really happened to you?
Most people are like, did that really happen to you?
Yeah.
So
And did it?
you'll have to see the show to find out.
Wow.
But it
And what
sounds
you'll
like-
find out is that it's true, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's interesting because what's the famous quote from disgraced New York City Governor Rudolph Giuliani? Truth isn't true. And he famously married his cousin. Yeah, he married his second cousin,
Second
right?
cousin.
Second
Yeah,
cousin,
yeah.
so it's
Second cousin,
okay.
Yeah.
And then he said truth isn't true, and now he's going to prison, but not for the incest. Called it. He's going to prison. It's not official yet, but I think it's going to happen.
And Patrick, by the way, if that doesn't happen, bleep it out.
Yeah. Only if it doesn't happen.
Okay.
If it does happen, add it back in.
Double it.
Double it.
Yeah, also, Patrick.
We're just naming movies now.
I don't
Totally
know
unrelated
why
movies.
that would be pulled.
What's the worst thing you've ever done, Matt?
Oh my God! Wow.
Something you've never told anybody.
Yeah, and like, don't think about it. Just say it.
Don't
Just
think
say
about it.
whatever comes to mind.
First answer, worst answer.
Something I've never told anybody. The worst thing I ever. I have.
I'll give you mine.
Okay, give me yours.
I did a cameo in a movie called
Yeah.
directed by John Landis after where people died
Yeah.
because of the way he ran the set.
Yeah.
And then I thought I'll just show up and do a fun cameo and
Yeah.
bleepy bleepy.
Bleep, 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 bleep.
But he redeemed himself with his son, who turned out great.
Yeah.
So now I've gone.
Yes.
Say something bad that you've done, or something you're ashamed of. It doesn't have to be something bad.
Matt, what's the worst cameo you've ever done?
I was gonna say I think the thing I'm most ashamed of is that I saw in the theater.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Do you remember me in it?
I don't.
Do
but-
you? Okay.
Yeah.
Set the
Because the
scene,
thing,
George.
because here's the thing. If you see the movie, you're not going to see a billionaire filmmaker.
Right.
You're going to see a man at an amusement park
He's in character.
who's in line for a ride, one of the amusements at the amusement park, and he's there with a lady friend. Might be romantic, maybe not. Maybe they're related. Maybe it's both. Matter of fact, it's both. He's there with his sister, and they're an item. And they want to get it on inside the ride, but then Beverly Hills Police Detective Axel Foley.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the light because of time or because you're just rocking out to Axel F.
The light was to the beat of the song. You have to know.
Axel Foley gets in, he cuts the line for police reasons, all right? A cab. But not Axel F. I think he seems cool. And then the disappointed man who's been humiliated in front of his sister/lover says, "Hey." And then Axel just gets on the ride, and that's the last we see of that man. Presumably, he just goes home with his sister.
And that's the worst thing George Lucas has ever done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have, so seeing that was the worst. Watching that was the worst thing you've ever done. You
There's
really were.
something real in your head.
Can
that
I
you're
change
like,
it?
I shouldn't say this.
No, I really, I mean, I'm doing a horrible job. I have no skeletons. I'm so boring.
Wow.
And that's part of the show.
I'm sorry. How do you stay standing up? He's just flesh and muscle flapping around in there. I saw you walk in here. That's a deep, dark secret.
It makes it very hard to run. It's so hard to run. with
You're
those
off the
guys.
hook on that one.
Yeah.
No, because I think if you have no skeleton, then a good Edinburgh breeze should carry you from one venue to the other.
How many times do we have to get the light from the booth before I can get out of answering this question?
How many times, Andy?
I can do it again if you need.
Thank you. I wish I had a better. I've never made out with a relative. I've never.
Were you tempted?
Sure.
You were tempted.
Sure, I've been
How
attracted to
tempted?
relatives.
How close did you get? Do you ever make a plan?
You ever break a plan?
You ever
I've
think
never-
what would be the harm?
I've never made a plan. I did have a second cousin who was quite attractive, and
You were attracted to her.
Yeah, as kids, but Well, she was a kid. No.
Yeah.
Well, how old were you? Hang on here.
No, wait. No, no, but I've never no.
Right.
I've never made it. I've never gotten. It's never gotten to the point where I was like, Matt, you better go take a shower because to get out, to cool off because this cousin is getting you so hot.
Right. You had the thought. You thought, I'm not even gonna shower.
I'm not even gonna. No.
I'm just gonna sit here thinking this and then go about my day.
There you go.
Save the water. Save the planet.
Are there any sentiments? Because having a dialogue with the audience is a valuable thing, and it's part of what is exciting at Fringe. Do we all talk at the end of our shows and say thank yous? And you do.
Yeah.
You're very nice to the audience at the end, and then you give merch out.
Yeah, and then I tell them to vote for me for best show and best performance.
Maybe this is a good way to end the show.
Yeah.
Before they give us the light 12 more times. Maybe let's all do a series of how we end our shows.
We usually end the show with a theatrical bow, and then
Classy.
And then we thank them. We tell them to tell their friends about the show, and then we plug this show and George Prov, the one-person show I'll be doing next weekend. You give out merch.
I give out pins.
You ask for votes.
I ask for votes. I
Right.
campaign. I say there's a cue card where you can listen to music. I mean, a QR card.
QR card.
Yeah, code, whatever. And then I recommend some other shows.
Digital music. The soundtrack to your show is on the streaming services.
It is. It is.
It's a lot of pennies in that business.
Yeah, I guess so. I haven't seen them yet, but
They're on their way.
Thank
They're
you.
on
All
their
right,
way. Matt, how you end your show?
I admit to the audience the worst thing that I've ever done. And come if you want to find out, come see.
Very
Gilded
daft.
Balloon,
See,
yeah.
you got better at promoting your show during this show.
Yeah, I improved, that's for sure.
That's
yeah.
really good. Well, you took the note.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Little
Yeah,
direction.
yeah.
went a
Please
long
don't come
way.
see the show, but email me notes, more notes. Thank
Yes,
you.
yes. How do you end your show?
Fuck, I have not gotten better at promoting my show. I also tell the worst thing he's ever done.
Smart. That's smart.
Thank you.
Right.
I sort of beg for change, but not really. If you
You
like
beg
the show,
for change, but then you throw it back. Like,
throw it in their faces.
That's very bold.
But I just always feel like I'm at Monkey Barrel, and it's like this sort of dark corner, and then I sit on this stool with a bucket in the shadows, and so I sort of like warn them that I'm about to be like a street urchin in a corner begging for change, and I feel weird about it. And then if you liked the show, please tell everyone. If you didn't like it, don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
When I was leaving yesterday, I was like, oh, I have change. But I don't know how much change I had. So you might have gotten 20 pounds from me.
Oh.
Like, I was just like, there you go, there
Thank
you go. And I
you.
just put it all in. I don't know how
You
much it was.
deliberately gave me 20 pounds because you loved it so much. Thank you.
Go to the show.
Thank you.
Patrick?
How do I end the show?
Yeah.
I also come out and do a theatrical bow. No one sees my face.
But you get a bigger. We're not going to reveal what role you play.
Yeah.
You have to come see the Baron and
Yeah.
the Drug Dealer to find out what Patrick does.
I
in
get
the
a
show.
pop. I get a pop. When I come out for that bow, I get a pop.
Patrick.
Are we
Patrick
allowed
gets.
to say Patrick basically plays scenery?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but you get bigger. You get cheers.
Yes.
We get respectful applause.
Yes.
And then you get actual cheers
Yeah.
from the audience.
This is real. This is not a bit. This is very real.
Yeah, which is absolutely infuriating.
No, it rules. It rules.
Yeah.
And then I don't say anything.
I don't think it rules. I think it drools.
I think he double doggy drawers.
Yeah.
Can't deny it.
And Watto, how do you end the show?
How do I end this show?
How do you end this show?
How do I end this show? Here's what I would say. In no particular order.
While Watto is doing this,
Live and
I
let
will
die.
also say we have posters for sale
License to
outside.
kill.
Allegra's got them. They look like this.
GoldenEye.
Allegra's up there, but she'll be outside. She'll meet you outside.
Tomorrow never dies.
Signed by the three of us.
The
It's
world
very
is not enough.
expensive to come to Fringe, and we
Die
appreciate
another day.
if you want to buy any of the posters, that would be rad.
I want to thank our wonderful guests. Please go see their wonderful shows. If you haven't seen The Baron and the Junk Dealer, please come see it. If you have, please tell other people to come see it. We have 6 more shows.
Yes,
And then
Casino
George Prov, we have not promoted enough, so...
And we have one more of these next Friday.
That's right, we have one more of these next Friday. So until then, may the force be with you always.